One of the best things about being a Disney fan is theorising not just the films and the TV shows and the various characters and endings, but also where the inspiration for these Disney films have come from and what actually goes on with inside the Disneyland parks. Join me as we go through 6 of the craziest Disney theories. Gaston is a reflection of the Beast. We all know that no one can beat Gaston, eat eggs like Gaston, or bite like Gaston. But maybe there is someone who can. Sourced from Reddit, user Canadian Shadow put forward the theory that if Beast had never been transformed by the witch, he would have become Gaston. It is true that these characters share very similar physical and mental aspects. For example, they both share the same blue eye colour, they're narcissists who are obsessed with their physical attributes, and they can devour an ungodly amount of food as well. Canadian Shadow also highlights that when Gaston fell from the tower during his fight scene with the Beast, that part of the Beast also fell with him. The Aladdin exception. Originally used as a satire gag in 2015 from the website Clickhole, an offshoot of The Onion, the Aladdin exception began to recirculate in 2022 after a screenshot of the cast member handbook was shared on the Instagram account Disnerds. When the image was reshared in 2022, there was a wide speculation over whether this was the authentic Disney members' cast book, and the majority of people believed it was. The handbook details that Aladdin is the only character who can defend the park. The text from the handbook reads, "Although we want every Disney guest to have fun, our number one priority is safety. Because of this, Aladdin will never, under any circumstances, kill a park guest unless it is absolutely necessary to save the lives of a greater number of park guests. This is referred to as Aladdin's exception." The cast member handbook also stated that Aladdin is the only cast member who can actually steal from guests, because he is a street rat. So, if you ever hear the words "send in the street rat" during your next holiday to Disney, start panicking! Prince Florian is the Grim Reaper. This theory from BuzzFeed suggests that Prince Florian is the Grim Reaper, who has come to take Snow White's soul back to heaven. When we look at Snow White's first encounter with Florian, she is singing by the well, until he stands behind her. Terrified, Snow White seeks shelter in the tower from him. They then start to exchange words of love, and a dove flies to the prince and sends him a kiss from his beloved. Could this be an interpretation for Snow White flirting with death? For whilst the dove often represents peace, there is another type of dove who symbolises mourning. Another good observation to support this theory is the red curtains that Snow White hides behind. One reading would suggest that this is an indication of her love and passion for Prince Florian. Another is that it is foreshadowing her demise, i.e. she is hiding behind the colour of blood. Did the Grim Reaper visit Snow White too early? This theory also seems to stand when we look at the final scene featuring Prince Charming's castle. Instead of it being located on a mountain, at the beach or in the forest, it is instead situated in the sky, surrounded by golden flares and what can only be described as a golden halo. This also kind of leans into my own theory regarding Disney and the purpose of teaching children religion, but that will be another very detailed theory video for another time. The Haunted Mansion is actually haunted. The Haunted Mansion tells the tale of 12 ghosts that haunt the manor, but that is incorrect, for there is actually 13 ghosts that reside there, and that ghost is Timmy. The story goes that Timmy's mother wanted to scatter her son's young ashes on the Haunted Mansion, but when she tried this, the security guards turned her away, forbidding her from entering the ride with the urn. Eventually, however, she managed to board the Haunted Mansion and scattered the remains of her young son before leaving the park. This is when the sound of a child running and crying in the ride began to start. There's even been a photograph of a young boy smiling at a camera in the buggy in front, despite it being entirely empty. Timmy isn't the only set of ashes to have been placed on the Disney ride, with specialist cleaners having to go into the parks once a month to deep clean the rides. Pirates of the Caribbean is a popular choice amongst mourners. But the Haunted Mansion isn't the only ride that is haunted. For you see, there are tons of ghost stories and sightings of spectral images that haunt not only Disneyland but also the Disney World parks. Spooky. Wish is a diss to Disney. The 2023 Disney animated feature Wish was created to help celebrate the studio's 100th anniversary. But amongst the Disney Easter eggs and various references, there lays a darker and more personal reference to the Disney Studios. Claimed by website /film, Wish is a retelling of the corruption of the Disney Studios. When King Magnifico is highlighting the wishes that are yet to be granted, he showcases that of Peter Pan and Mary Poppins. Scared of what the outcome will be if these wishes are granted, King Magnifico clings on to them through fear and greed, referencing the studio's practice over the Disney Vault. Before being retired in 2019 thanks to the launch of Disney+, the Disney Vault was where the Disney classic films were stored and were only let out after a certain number of years. This scheme helped to produce mass hysteria and a big profit for Disney before the classic films were shut away for another number of years. The re-releases always boasted special edition footage that you would never see again to add more hysteria to the hype of owning these classics for a limited amount of time. Which points out the good intentions that Disney had at the beginning before being turned into the corporation they are today. If this is true, then Disney can only be saved by an outsider willing to stand in the way of the giant corporation. Cast members have to share the same pair of underwear. We end this countdown with a right stinker of a theory. For years, it was speculated that cast members were ordered to share the same pair of underwear. It was also one of the more commonly asked questions that cast members were asked. But this rumour has been debunked. On Reddit, user FishMom5 stated that though cast members do have to share underclothes, as in t-shirts, shorts, leggings, they do not have to share underwear. This was a rumour that got completely muddled up and then took on a life of its own. So if you ever did want to be a cast member and the thought of having to share someone's underwear put you off, which quite rightly so, you don't have to worry. You just have to share someone's smelly old t-shirt. Thank you for checking out this video. I hope you have fun with these theories. Were there any here that surprised you or shocked you? Or are there any other theories that you would like me to look at and find out? If there are, please let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. And for more Disney Miss Lizzie content, please follow me on Instagram and TikTok. So anyway, thank you again guys, and I will see you in the very next video. Bye! Bye!